On this episode of Why Watch That,
you better watch who you entangle yourself with. I'm just saying.
That might be the word of the year, entangle.
Entanglement. So he knows what he's doing.
He does, but he also did Suspiria, the remake, and he didn't know what he was doing. And it's not acting, it's femal acting. You've got to teach everybody. Meryl Streep will sign up. Everybody wants to know. There was never a moment when she was off. Never!
Oh.
Why Watch That is a podcast featuring the critic
and referee who go head-to-head on a quest to discover the best movies
and TV shows Hollywood has to offer. Expect the unexpected from the critic.
While nothing gets past the ref.
We do all the work.
So you don't have to. Welcome to Why Watch That. This episode of Why Watch That is supported by Entrepreneur Meal Plan. It helps leaders and professionals feed their bodies and businesses well. You know, Critic, I got a chance to attend a wonderful event by EMP here in Los Angeles. And it was so amazing because Brandy Cochran was able to gather people from all sorts, walks of life. We were able to gather together, have real talk, and some real good food too. It was a hit.
It's food for the soul and the body, which is so hard to find. So if you want to learn more about Entrepreneur Meal Plan, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, go to entrepreneurmealplan.com.
The Why Watch That Talk.
And we're back with the best and most notable TV shows of 2020. Like Barbara Walter says, 2020. And yes, we are switching roles this time for part 2.
I love when this happens.
Part 2. Now we have some more, our second half. We also are going to do, Ref, some updates on some things. I won't give that away yet. And you said, this is you said we have to provide our top 3 of the year. How dare you?
Listen, I'm going to back you right up in that corner, buddy. I want to hear it.
All right, so starting off on this list with a show that both of us hold close, I don't know to our hearts, but somewhere, some body part. I don't know where it would be.
Well, you might want to clarify that. I don't know.
Our minds, our hearts, I don't know. Our noses and ears, maybe our feet. This is
Who knows?
The Good Fight.
Oh.
The spinoff of The Good Wife. And The Good Fight is on CBS All Access. We have Diane Lockhart leading the way, but we got a whole bunch of other people. We got a bunch of brothers and sisters looking at Diane and saying, We also have Diane being recreational. Diane is really letting loose, and we're seeing that across this show. So if you have not seen The Good Fight, excuse us. How can we help you? This is the Kings. They know how to do a procedural that keeps you coming back. You get procedural, you get serial, you get all of the wonderful actors in this show as well, having a good time. You get not only Christine Baranski, but Audrey McDonald they throw into this show, Ref. You have all kinds of people. Cush Jumbo who's leaving, Delroy who's leaving. Come on.
Memo 618. That's all I got to say.
Well, speaking about memos, there is a show where there are no memos.
No.
They don't have time for memos.
No.
All they have time for is a lot of danger. I don't even know what to say. I'm still scared thinking about it. Ozark on Netflix, Breath. What? No,
I've not seen it. Not seen it.
See, this is the thing. Jason Bateman and Laura Linney had this show, right? But you have such a collection of people you wouldn't want to sit next to them in church, these people. They wouldn't be safe there. And not just safe in a physical, threatening way, but in a conniving way. So if you haven't seen Ozark, when you start watching it from the beginning, there will be a moment when you go, okay, wait a minute. I've got to rearrange myself as Jason Bateman rearranges himself, okay? Because he's going for something and he turned right back around. That was the moment in this show. And everybody who's watched it knows what I'm talking about. When I went, oh, okay, y'all got it together. Julie Garner has won Emmys for this. Ozark on Netflix is a dark, nasty, wonderful experience.
Oh, your dark heart just floods with darkness when you talk about it.
It is, and even the lenses are dark in this show. They know what they're doing. Now, with that said, from darkness to the lighter side of the darkness,
I guess.
Yeah, the flight attendant.
the flight side.
No, wait a minute, Ref. Neither of us has finished this yet because first of all, I watched 5 episodes.
I think I'm 6.
Yeah, of 8. But then I was like, no, this is so fun. I need to watch this with my brother. So we just started it over again. I just watched the first 3 episodes again. And like you said, this is fun. This is entertainment. This is the perfect vehicle for Kaylee Cuoco. This is what she was born to do.
Yeah.
This is the perfect vehicle for Rosie Perez. What is she doing in the show?
And why?
There you go. Why? So this is what I'll say, everybody. If you haven't watched this yet and you're going, Flight Attendant, I kind of heard about it, what's really going on? Do not research it.
Right.
Just start watching it because you don't want anybody to spoil anything. Now, in my review, I did not.
You didn't. You did a really good job because I felt like when I watched it, I wasn't bamboozled. I will have to say one thing. Yeah. I hope I don't spoil things, but boy, you better watch who you entangle yourself with. I'm just saying.
That might be the word of the year, entangle.
Entanglement.
Oh.
Watch who you are in an entanglement with, because it could be a life and after death situation. Just saying.
Now, speaking of entangling, another show that shocked me.
Yes, me too.
Shocked me because of where it showed up.
Oh, jeez.
Is The Capture.
On what?
On Peacock.
Oh, dear.
Now, this comes to us from the Brits. Again, we've reviewed all of these things in some way, so check that out for the full-on thing if you need it. The Capture is just the Brits doing a kind of proceduralish thing, but it really is about getting down to the matter of a mystery. Something appears to have happened, a crime, but did it? And The Capture is about surveillance. Can you trust all of the surveillance we have? Can you trust in a court of law even when somebody has video footage? So we are going into the rabbit hole here, and we'll see as they continue if we ever get out. But I'm telling y'all, The Capture is the reason to go to Peacock for any business. Outside of if you have a favorite show you want to watch again that they have, whatever. This is the reason that I would have paid if I didn't have a free trial.
Oh boy.
Now moving on, Raf. It is the strangest show this year, and maybe in a while, on HBO. We Are Who We Are. Now,
another sleeper hit.
Yeah. Now, in the previous part, we talked about Normal People, which is about the same age range. Normal People, they're a little older. So these are younger teens. They're on a base in Italy, an American military base in Italy. And these teens are struggling with who they are. So that's the play on the title. And in the end, they get to that title, but what does that really mean? It is of this moment. It is of their generation, but it is from Luca Guadagnino, who is a visionary director. Whether you like what he does or not, he has a clear vision, and his team. And this was one of the shows, Rep, that my brother and I watched. We weren't always comfortable watching it, but at the end of every episode, we listened to every talk they had because it was art. So that's what this is. It will take some bravery to watch it, though.
Well, and he did the...
Call Me By Your Name.
That's right. So he knows what he's doing.
He does, but he also did Suspiria, the remake, and he didn't know what he was doing. So it started as a teen show. Where are we going now? Also coming to us from HBO, My Brilliant Friend. And this is the story of a new name, the second season here. It is.
I tried starting this. I tried it. I tried starting it. I have to get over the first episode, maybe.
So in this, you do have to read subtitles. This is in Italy, but it's a period piece. You get the costumes, you get the people, and you get 2 lead characters. We see them grow up. They are best friends. They're both vying to be the smartest in the class. And then they vie for other things that happen as you grow up as well. Oh, yes, they do. Who gets ahead? Who's left behind? And it might be one or the other, depending on the situation and the time you're in. So in this second season, somebody's getting married. Somebody's going to college. Are they happy getting married? Are they happy going to college? Do they want what the other has? And where do they end up? And what's the bitterness underneath all of this? Because the narration is from one of them, and she's older. So they're going to continue with this. Reading subtitles, no problem with me. This is a beautiful show with rough stuff in there. Now, talking about rough, this is just the HBO section here.
Apparently.
I May Destroy You.
Really? That's not nice, critic.
I know it's not, but that's not me saying it.
Oh!
It is this show. And Michaela Cole created it, stars in it, all of that, bubblegum, that whole thing. Chewing gum that Michaela did. So, which is not on Netflix anymore. You can't find it. Anyway.
What?
So, no, it's not there.
Did they Dave Chappelle that thing?
I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a licensing issue and it's gone. But anyway, so I May Destroy You, another HBO show. This is about Michaela, had some of these experiences and now she turned it into art to deal with it. Yeah, with being raped. I mean, that's what this is about. And the way it happens, you go to a club, you get roofied. Can you remember? But it does have some comedy in it. So it's not this heavy kind of drama. And the way that Michaela balanced that is why it's on this list. It's why it's notable. It's why it's one of the best. It's not that it is a great show. I wouldn't call it that. It's smart.
It's notable, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to say this title for the next one, and then I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to say anything other than the title, and then the rest we'll talk. And the title is Schitt's Creek.
This is a PG podcast. Okay, we all know how much WhyWatchThat loves Schitt's Creek. And at first I wasn't going to say the name because I thought, how horrible. And I absolutely, over the years, fell in love with this, as you did, because it took some convincing. You're like, I'll get to it. And then you got to it. And what a pleasant surprise. This season, every season, it's going to be the best of 2020 for me. For the past 5 seasons, Schitt's Creek has delivered over and over again. And then this last season, it went home and you get the wedding. I won't say who gets married. You get the wedding. You get the drama before the wedding. You get the cold feet. You get, people whisking off to remote islands to study turtles. You get all sorts of things, and you also get, a lively dose of the townspeople of Schitt's Creek. And by the time you get to the end of it, Schitt's Creek swept the Emmys. Yeah. Swept. And every category, acting, best comedy, just swept.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. It was almost like, what was that show, The Americans, where everybody slowly came to the realization, freaked out. And then in its last season, they finally tried to give it its accolades. Well, Schitt's Creek got its due. If you haven't already, you can go straight to Netflix and binge your little heart out. You can do it in a whole night. It's going to be a long night. But they're only like 20-something minutes, 22, 23 minutes a piece. And you will be delighted and fall in love with this family. I can't talk enough about Schitt's Creek.
Yes, and you thanked me for Young Sheldon, and I thank you for Schitt's Creek. What a singular experience that was. And you'll never forget these people.
You'll never forget the cast.
Exactly. It's like the flip of Good Times, the way it ended. Same thing. They get out of the ghetto. Well, Schitt's Creek, you see what happens to them. Now.
Well, not everybody gets out.
Well, there we go. Now, okay. This next one, I talked about singular experience. We are who we are. All that. This, I still don't know what I saw, but I saw it. And it's Raised by Wolves on HBO Max.
By whom?
Ridley Scott coming in. We have Travis Fimmel doing his strange acting technique. If he's not already, Travis, set up some Zoom sessions to teach acting. And it's not acting, it's Fimmel acting. You've got to teach everybody. Meryl Streep will sign up. Everybody wants to know what you're thinking and everything. Like the ref is doing the look. Yes. It's starting in Vikings on through. We know what we're getting from Travis Fimmel, and now we're getting it where ref, take it over, because I can't talk about this anymore. Take it over. We are on other planets, and in the future, please, and Travis Fimmel.
And Travis Fimmel, well, by the time you get to the end with Travis Fimmel, I don't even think he knows what he's doing. I mean, because it is just the thing about Raised by Wolves. And again, if you want to really listen in detail, we really went through all of that. Raised by Wolves isn't necessarily the best television, although I'm going to put it up there. It's among the best. It is notable, and it's one of those things where you talked about Westworld 2 and 3. And when you don't know what you're watching because there's no resolve, you're given more mystery on top of mystery on top of mystery. And then you talked heavily about not feeling like I feel like I need to be paid to watch something.
Yeah.
It's not so with Raised by Wolves. Yes, each episode presented more mystery. You literally didn't know what you're talking about or who is what talking about. And people are spewing out milk blood. I mean, it's just robots are having intercourse with holograms and human consciousness and having babies that are it's Ridley Scott. And I feel like what happened was they just said, Ridley, we're taking the wheels off. Yeah. Fly, baby, fly. And I trust him. I trust where we're going with this. Even if the journey is rocky, I think for you, I'm going to go against our advice. Don't do the first 2 episodes and go, I'll know if it's for me or not. This one, you got to just keep going. And then you'll know if season 2 is for you or not. But I will end it with this. It was beautiful. Beautifully shot. Some of that, the scene that I was talking about where the android and human consciousness come together and, they do what they do. Beautifully shot. And then, of course, like you said, Travis Fimmel, all the actors, mother, father.
Amanda Collin as mother, yes. Abu Bakar Salim as father.
The children. The children were excellent, along with, it just was an A+ for me, an A+ experience, even though I didn't know what the heck was going on. Exactly.
Well, see, because they knew. That's the thing.
Yes.
They knew. I still don't know. Amanda and Abu Bakar.
Oh, come on.
And now, Ref, in the future, FX will give us an alien TV show.
I need the right person to who.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Are we talking about Cameron or Ridley? Like, who's gonna do it?
Ridley will be EPing. Okay. But the showrunner is Noah Hawley. Now.
What?
Fargo, Legion.
I. You know what? I almost would have preferred a James Cameron, effort. But
we'll see.
We'll see.
It'll be interesting though with Ridley and Noah. We'll see what happens there. And we'll see who's directing the first 2 episodes as well.
That's key. That's key. Because Ridley Scott, just for everybody, he started us off on this journey with Raised by Wolves as director. So he set a very, very heavy-handed tone to it. To me, if you like Prometheus, if you like the first 2 Alien movies, that chronologically...
Yes.
Not this Predator kind of incubation.
No.
But I tell you what, if you didn't like any of that, there is certainly something to watch with Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, it really is. If you like the Ridley alien stuff, that's what it is. But now, nothing to do with aliens and alien planets and androids. Maybe, I don't know. But the name here, we're ending it here, and then we'll have some little notes. Is Little Fires everywhere.
Where?
Hulu, everywhere. And you know where it is from the beginning. Now, for me, I had to say...
You did not.
Reese, okay, Carrie, I appreciate both of you. That's what I had to say to them.
You have to bow out, and I understand. This falls for me under the notable category because I looked at this list and I looked at my list and I thought, ooh, we're missing the zeitgeist discussion. We're missing the TV show that during the pandemic, if you needed to escape, get out of it. Because I think when it came out, the pandemic was pretty strong in the US.
Yeah.
It was pretty grim. There was no
this was
talk.
Mid-March.
There was no talk of any, it was hitting us hard. And each week, the branding of Little Sunshine, which is Reese's company that's responsible for the morning show, responsible for Big Little Lies, and now Big Little Fires everywhere. A lot of little things and more things coming out. She really does deliver that soap opera feel. Yeah. She's known to be like, this is television. This is not art with a T. It's art. It's just art. And if you want to escape and watch people make bad choices, scream and yell at each other, and then if you want to also make bad choices by having that second glass of wine, eating all that popcorn before bed and screaming at your television, she really found a niche. It's like the grown-up it's the caviar of Lifetime. It is the caviar of Lifetime. If you're like, I am a sophisticated, educated woman, I am not watching Lifetime. Reese says, I know you're not going to do that. I'm going to give you the creme de la creme of Lifetime, and with some interesting stories. And certainly Little Fires Everywhere delivered that zeitgeisty, that let's get on Twitter and just say, no, she didn't kind of thing. For me, it was the best of the no, she didn't kind of TV show. And so I had to put it on the list.
Yes, absolutely. And, like you were saying, we know a strong thought is coming from Reese, and it's going to be a thought that goes to entertainment.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we ain't snobs here. We do like entertainment. Thank you very much.
Of course. If it's listen, I'll watch something on Lifetime if I can get through it. I sure will. And will not.
You know what I watched on Lifetime? Married at First
Burning
Sight.
Bed. Oh.
Married at First Sight.
You know what? A lot of people are talking about that. One of these days, we're gonna have to do an off the cuff.
Okay.
Of all of the reality shows that we watch. Because I just watched the British baking show, the Christmas edition. So I don't know what y'all out there doing. Yeah. But we will definitely do it. You know what? We will next year, 100%. We're going to do an off the cuff of the non-narrative stuff. But you have some stuff to talk about, though.
I do. And by the way, check out the Great Pottery Throwdown on HBO Max if you like the Great British Bake Off.
Okay,
if you like
the premise of pottery. I don't know.
I know. Just watch the first episode and see. It's not as good, but it's very interesting. It's from the same production company. So you'll know, it's the same kind of thing. And pottery is fascinating. Anyway, moving on. I have to say, I'm going to leave that and I'm going to go to some performances I want to highlight.
Yes. Good job.
Mrs. America.
Both of us saw it.
Mrs. America on FX on Hulu. Now, FX on Hulu started this year, Ref. This is not FX shows on Hulu like we get. This is literally shows produced by FX for Hulu only. Mrs. America, Devs, by the way, as well. Another one. Oh, Devs. Wow. Okay, let me take a breath. Mrs. America, though, some of these performances.
Yep.
Cate Blanchett.
You landed on her name.
Is an international treasure. And she showed us why in this show. There was never a moment when she was off. Never!
Oh.
Now you tell me how many actors are always on, just on.
Well, there was someone else.
Well, let's go down the list.
In this show who was also traveling side by side, we'll just say.
Tracey Ullman.
You don't want to go on a date with that woman.
Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe some people do. I don't know. It'll definitely be memorable. I'll tell you that. Tracey Ullman was that character. I would like to meet the real person. Well, I mean, I can't, but I would like to meet the real person based on that. Tracey Ullman is another treasure. She is someone.
Yeah.
You just think of Into the Woods.
Oh.
Just look at her in Into the Woods at the beginning when she plays Jack's mother. This is what we're talking about. And then we have Sarah Paulson, who always does her job. Okay.
Always.
The end of this, though, when she discovers a substance, discovering a new way to eat. I mean, this is what Ari Grainer, who had to go up against some people. And Ari started, from what I know, in The Sopranos. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. Jean Triplehorn as Kate Blanchett's sister-in-law. That storyline. And then Uzo won the Emmy for this over Tracy and Margot Martindale. And Niecy Nash is just in there for fun.
How foretelling, though, eventually what we find out. Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, the series itself is uneven. We will tell you that.
Yeah, but
who we noted, that's a decision. Now, speaking of decisions.
You have to make one. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We have talked about Grey's Anatomy. We've talked about it. And this is a show where people who know me would go, what are you doing watching that? Like, really, what are you doing watching that?
Yeah.
And I didn't start watching it from the beginning. I started watching it on Netflix. And really, I watched it for this podcast. That was the reason. I was like, let me see what the big deal is. Let me start. The first 2 seasons, I was like, Shonda Rhimes. And then I kept watching.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like it. But I kept watching it. I just kept watching. But then when Kelly McCreary's character showed up, all of a sudden, it came back. It was a renaissance.
Yeah.
What happened? And the thing about Grey's Anatomy is this for me, and then I'll go to the decision. The thing about Grey's Anatomy is when it's like this, they know how to do a procedural. When they get down to it, when things have to go, everybody's in the right place. The pacing is impeccable. The acting, they always cast it well. The actors are on time. It is a machine in the best sense. Look, you got Debbie Allen as the executive producing director. Let's get it right.
She's a choreographer, though.
And yeah. Go to YouTube and look at her talk about what she did on Fame. Go ahead. Now, so that's what I like. Or some of those soap opera storylines are just fun to watch. But this season, because of the pandemic, they have decided that that's going to be really the driving force of the season, from what I can tell. And I, along with all of you, are living through it.
Yeah.
If you're going to dramatize it, you better be amazing. That's not this show for me. This show is not, okay, let's really go there in the real world. Let's give Meredith COVID. I can't do that. And once the 2-hour premiere, I watched it, I was like, and I gave my review, Ref. I said, I'm not really on board with this. I went to the next one, they continued, and I stopped, and I won't be going back. And I mean
it. I keep asking you. Now, I think we have to address this, and you don't want to compare, but you have to. Mm-hmm. One of the other great medical procedurals that this country has delivered is also ER.
Yes.
And a question to you is, would you have minded if it was on ER?
Probably.
The COVID?
Yeah, probably not as much because...
Why?
Because ER to me isn't a soap opera. It has dramatic soapy moments, but it's not this kind of boop, boop, boop kind of soap opera where it's fun and, light and, salacious. That's not that. I mean, ER went there with some heavy stuff. Not that Grey's didn't. It's just a different feel, and I'm in different hands. And if ER were to do it, it wouldn't be as jarring for me. And Grey's Anatomy, and we were talking, Grey's Anatomy wasn't a show when I was like, oh, Thursday night, it's Grey's Anatomy. No, Thursday night is Young Sheldon and, Star Trek Discovery. For me, that's what I think. I don't think Grey's Anatomy. So it's not that. It was a show when I would watch it, though, I would go, you know what, this is good. They're doing a good job. But I can't do it with them anymore. Even like St. Elsewhere, maybe they could have gotten away with it better. For me than Grey's.
Whoa, we are dating ourselves with St.
Denzel.
Elsewhere. Denzel's, his breakout moments. Now, we have to conclude this wonderful year's celebration of television. I mean, really, it did get us through a lot of just wanting to escape. Now, whether that was escaping into, the world of a young genius's mind and his wacky doodle Texan family, whether it was escaping to, a famous genius chess player who really had some problems. Maybe it was going to Mexico and figuring out how that works down there.
And getting out of Mexico.
Getting out. Or maybe it's just a crazy, wacky doodle flight attendant who just took the wrong pill, not the blue one. She took the wrong pill. All of that to say, we are grateful for television, and we're going to end it with our top 3. You don't even need to explain if you don't want to.
Okay.
But I have my top 3, and the third slot was really, really hard for me. So I'm going to let you go first.
So 1, 2, 3. And this, my philosophy to start, whenever we rank, Ref, I don't look at anything. I let my gut speak.
Okay.
And my gut said, number 3, I'll work up.
Yeah.
The Queen's Gambit. I can't escape that show. I cannot. I'm still thinking about it. I still see Anya Taylor-Joy. Number 2, The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the nuances of The Crown, too. That's what gets lost as well.
Yeah.
Some of those, the finer things that they do, those actors, I just love them. And I can't wait to see the next cast. Anyway.
I know.
Number 1, Normal People.
Oh,
Normal
interesting.
People. If I were a TV show, this would be half of me. Half.
Hopefully you don't go through all that drama.
Yes.
For me, I'm going to start with going the other way. Ooh. Look at me. I'm going to start with my absolute thrill ride joy is The Mandalorian. Oh. This season, I'd never thought that it's season 2 is hard off of a hit.
Yeah.
And there wasn't this concrete, yes, we're doing a season 2. If you remember, this season 2 was, if you look at how it ended season 1, it started to move that way, but there wasn't this guaranteed season 2 order.
Yeah.
And to me, season 2 was even better, richer. The fight scenes and the mysteries revolved, intertwining the world of Star Wars into some really amazing cameos and revelations about characters and evolution. We'll say that of some other ones. It was a pure joy. There was not one single episode where I was like, I just look forward to it every Friday. So that is my top show. And then, I got to talk about Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon is one of those comedies that even though things aren't necessarily happening, I just can't wait to get alone with these folks. Well, not alone, but I can't wait to just sit down and watch what's going to happen. And honestly, as much as the characters are, I look forward to that end card from Chuck. Every episode, I pause it and I read it, and he always delivers, especially in this crazy time. And then this is where it gets a little difficult because I want to say one of these shows over the other, but like you, I'm going to go with my gut and just, I enjoyed The Queen's Gambit. I enjoyed, all of those things. It was great. But I have to go back to Raised by Wolves. Never before. And you know how I am. I don't like loose ends. I think as a writer, I think it's a cop-out. We're like, oh, you figure it out. No. Don't do that. Make me think based on the world that you gave me rather than the world that I need to now make up.
Right.
So I don't really do well with those as much, but Raised by Wolves, I did. It was so crazy what I was watching, but everything counted. I felt like everything was necessary for doing whatever. I don't even know what they're doing. So, and I definitely want to tune in for season 2. And I pray that Ridley Scott stays on board and helps to drive that ship. I'm not going to say it's the best, but that one was the most notable for me. So 2 were the best. 1 was the most notable. So there you have it. Listen, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy everything. All of the things that you're going to be celebrating this holiday season. Remember, we've got a lot of releases happening on December 25th, movie-wise. But for television, I think we can safely say you did right by us, 2020. Even if 2020 was a kick in the pants, TV came by and patted our tush. In not a weird way.
Thanks for listening. For additional resources, visit WhyWatchThat.com.
Good idea, and we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave comments, feedback, and you can rate us on iTunes.
We'll see you next week.
See you.